Hey guys, Kev here, and I have some unboxings to do for you. So there's 3 knives here. I have briefly checked out 2 of them before I left on vacation, but I literally took them out, flicked them a couple of times, and put them back. I really just wanted to get one of them in my hand before I left, but I just didn't have time to form an opinion or really do anything. So I just put them all back in the packages. I didn't have anywhere to put them. We had a dog sitter coming, and I just didn't want to leave knives out. So anyway, there's 3 knives that I've basically not handled at all, but I just wanted to put that out there because, you know, try to be transparent. Not that it matters. So this is a left-handed version of the Fenrir from Kansepts. So first I want to give a big shout out to Kansepts for sending these my way. I did sign up for their affiliate program. If you guys know, with Divo, we're having at least 1 knife right now made by them. We're working on possibly another one. So I really like what Kansepts does. They've come a long way, I think, from when they first started. If you guys watch some of my early Kansepts videos, I was not a big fan. But they have always made lefty knives, which is pretty cool. And they've come a long way with their build quality and consistency and all that stuff. So anyway, I signed up for their affiliate program. I should have a code for you guys down below that'll get you a discount from their website. It's probably going to be Lefty10 or LeftyEDC 10, something like that. It'll be linked down below along with an affiliate link. Does help the channel if you use that. But anyway, shout out to Kansepts because they sent these my way to check out. And what we have in this box is the Fenrir. And it's actually a pretty cool knife design from Greg over at Sparrow Knife Co. I've gotten to know Greg just, you know, a little bit through DMs talking about his production run on the Strix. And then we met at Blade Show, and I got to chat with him some more, which was really nice. So he's a good dude, and I actually have a lefty on the books with him to do a left-handed version of the Strix, a custom, which is pretty damn cool. So I'm pretty excited about that. I believe he is releasing a pre-order for a second batch of his Strix production knife. So definitely follow Sparrow Knife Co. And I'll link that down below as well. But here's the Fenrir. Let's move this stuff out of the way. So we have the Fenrir, and this is a thumb stud knife. And this one has a black wash blade. So it's got that PVD coating or titanium nitride coating, whatever it is, and then it's stone washed. It's got a little bit of the shine from the PVD still coming through. I don't love that. I like to see a black wash be like this, where it's sort of matted, if you can see that. But it could just be that it's sort of fresh, you know, and maybe after some of the oil gets wiped off of the blade and whatnot, it might dull out a little bit and get a little bit more of that matte look that I like. Then you have this really cool shred carbon fiber on the inlay, which is an interesting construction on this knife. It's sort of a reverse bolster lock. So you have the lock bar in here, and then it's covered by this scale right here. So I don't know, it's kind of a liner lock, kind of a reverse bolster lock. I don't know what you would call it, but you can see the frame lock relief cut is right here, so it can't really be a liner lock. I'd say it's a sub frame lock or reverse bolster lock. Your call on that. And then you have titanium down here. We have gold or bronze anno on the hardware. This should all be titanium, I believe. And yeah, it's a very interesting looking knife. I didn't love many of the configurations they did on this knife, and this was the one that stood out to me for the lefty version, and just in particular this version stood out to me. The other one they did in lefty, I think they only did 2 versions. There was this one, and then one of the ones with like this weird checker pockmark G10 or something. I just wasn't a fan of that stuff. The action you can see is really good. This was the knife that I wanted to get out of the box before I went on that trip, and I handled it for a brief second and put it back. And my initial reaction to it was the detent felt really good because the right-handed version that I got to review, and I can't remember where that came from, but it was loaned in by somebody, so shout out to somebody. Sorry. But that one, the detent was way too strong. They made the detents too strong to account for the thumb studs, I think. And then the front flipper was kind of tight, and the studs were actually like hard to flick. The reverse flick was really hard on that knife. The first thing I noticed when I took this out of the box was that the detent felt really good. It's dialed in nicely. It's still got a good amount of tension on it. It's not like falling out or anything, right? There's no play or anything like that, but you can get a nice, easy front flip. That was not the detent. I will explain what caused that, and that is my biggest gripe on this knife, but we'll get to it. The thumb stud deployment is so good on this. You can reverse flick it nice and easy. It's really nice that it's left-handed, honestly. It feels good. The ergonomics are pretty solid on this guy. You have a nice grip back here, like so. You can then lock in right here behind that poon, right in that poon spoon, which is really nice. But then you have a nice forward finger choil. You guys know I love a forward finger choil, or as some of my homies would say, choil. The choil feels really good. No jimping up here, but not really necessary. Feels good in the hand. You have a relatively thin grind. It does feel a little bit on the thick side, but it's not like bad or anything. I can just, just feels a little bit thicker than you see these days, but I'd still venture to guess it's somewhere around 25 thousandths behind the edge. You're looking at S35 VN steel on this, which is nice. You have the Sparrow Knife Co. logo right there, which is awesome. Fenrir right there. And then you have his name as well, Greg Schaub right there. You have a nice thick liner because, again, it's basically a sub-frame lock. You have a steel insert on that. Lockup's good. All of that stuff is very well done, especially for it being left-handed. There's no issues there. There's no rock. There's no, I can't really move it. Thought I felt something there for a second. So yeah, my biggest gripe on this knife is the front flipper, and the way they did the jimping is just, man, I really wish they had done it differently, because I would be singing massive praises to this knife. Like I said, the detent is just really, really good. I enjoy the hell out of that reverse flick and thumb flick. But if you take a look at this front flipper, you'll notice immediately what the problem is. The jimping ends right here, okay? So that's your last jimp is right there. And you have this whole knuckle up here that is completely naked. And then it's stonewashed, and it's very smooth. So on top of that, this jimping isn't very rough either, and this is a problem that we see a lot these days from OEMs. Here's another one I unboxed recently, the Best Tech Void VK or something like that. Really cool knife. Honestly, I like this knife a whole heck of a lot. Very similar, honestly, to this knife in how I feel about it. Has a great right-handed reverse flick. Action is incredible. It's a really good knife, but the problem is the jimping's not aggressive and it doesn't go up and around. This one also suffers a little bit, I think, from this sort of squared off tab where it probably would have been better to just put one up here somehow. I know it changes the design, I'm just saying. But they both have this similar, just almost non-existent jimping up here, and it makes it to where you can slide off and not get it. And then, it doesn't necessarily hurt like some knives, but it's just unfortunate because it would be so good if I could just apply so much pressure right here because I had nice rough jimping to grab. It would be really, really cool. But it doesn't have that. So it's just a detriment to the knife. It's not the end of the world. I can still front flip it just fine. I just have to pay attention a little bit more. Make sure I flick it out nice. But the studs are great. Reverse flick's great. Ergos are wonderful. I really like this knife quite a bit. And I'm glad it's a lefty because I don't have a lot of good left-handed knives. I literally have one left-handed knife. It's the Synapse from Vero. And, you know, so this will be in good company, and it'll be one of two models that I have that are left-handed. So that's the Fenrir in Lefty. The other one I took out, I'll show you last, because it's probably my favorite knife from Kansept in a long time. But this one we'll show you first. This is some craziness I haven't even seen yet. It's called the Corvid XL America or something. This thing is pure nonsense, not my style at all, but it looks massive and crazy, so I'm into that. Let's take a look at the label, and then we'll get into it. I try to keep them the way they came, so that if I ship them out again or whatever, I don't have to worry about it too much. Come on, there we go. So we have the Corvid XL 3.55. Coke Tools is the designer on this. This is in 154 cm, Jade G10 and black G10 with American flag print. So I guess the jade is somehow dyed. I don't know. I don't see any jade, but I guess everything is jade, right? So you have this bonkers looking knife. Let me try that again. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay, so I haven't handled a Corvid, I don't think. I know there's like a mini, a regular, there's all types of Corvids. So apparently this thing is selling. This is a gargantuan knife, but it's honestly not that long. I mean, it is long, obviously. You can see there. Here's the Fenrir, just for size comparison. It's not like a stupidly long knife, right? It's just a very big knife, if that makes sense. You got the American flag print. I am on record saying that I don't like when Chinese companies do an American flag theme. It's not really like it's some big issue or anything. I just personally am not into that. I don't buy those type of knives. I'm not a big like wear the flag guy anyway, so I think that's part of it. But I just find it a little bit strange when companies do that. But I get why they're doing it. It's 4th of July coming up. For me, it's in a couple of days. For you, it's already happened. But yeah, very, very cool. Big knife. It actually is comfortable in the hand. You got this choil right here. You got a poon spoon, so got to give them credit there. You got a lot of blade. It is sharp as shit. This one's in 154 cm. You have a lot of lock bar access, which is interesting. And the action is, well, drop shut. Flipper tab works well. D10 on it. Seems to be dialed. I wish they had put a little jimping on here. I don't know why there's no jimping. Maybe because it's just an absolutely obnoxiously huge flipper tab. It's smooth in here, so it's kind of hard to flick. I'm sure you could if you really tried. There you go. I kind of just threw it out. I just had to break the D10 and then whip it. So I just broke it here with this finger and then whip. So there you go. That's the Corvid XL with the American flag. Not my style at all, but hey, I can see people being into this for sure. And yeah, so check that one out. And then this last one, guys, really blew me away. This was the other one that I handled for like a second. And literally for that second, I was like, damn, this thing is really cool. So it's going to look kind of unassuming at first, and we'll get into that. The designer of this knife, I believe, is the same designer as the Urban EDC Micro Shrike, which is one of Urban's designs, or models, sorry, based on a production or a custom knife from, I believe it's JRP. And if I can get this on, we can look at the tag here. So there you go. Tarako, 2.85 inches. Jared Price is the designer, so I think JRP. I don't know where the R comes from, or maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, Jared Price. S35EN bead blasted titanium. And this is a front flipper only knife. dead centered. By the way, all of these were, well, let me check this one. Yep, all of them are dead centered. Very nice. But there's just something about this knife that really screamed to me for that couple minutes I had it out of the pouch. If you look at this, the curvature of the handle is really unique to me. The way the spine of the blade, I guess, and the, you know, whatever side of the handle you call that, the way this curves together is really cool. And then how the flipper tab kind of curves with it, and then you have that jimping up there, and it just allows for a really fun, snappy deployment. I don't know what else to call it. The reach, not the reach around, the rollback is freaking money, right? The front flip is money. I'm sure I can, yeah, you can reach around it because of it as well. You just have a lot of good location to grab because of the way that is designed. The way it curves with everything, your hand just hits a perfect spot to grip it and rip it, where a lot of knives, haven't tried this one, but a lot of knives you go to do that, and what happens? You get hit, right? You get hit with the blade, so you got to learn how to like get out of the way or whatever. On this knife, it kind of naturally guides your hand in a way that you're pulling it out of the way. I don't know. It's just really cool. There's a flat sort of area up here. It's not necessarily a choil, but for me, it's plenty of room to choke up and get into a good position to cut. One of the only gripes I really had with it was the clip. The way the clip ends here is it just goes straight up, and it's a bit pokey, honestly. It actually hurts a little bit. And when I hold it left-handed, I'm right on that point, and it's just a little uncomfortable. I have to adjust a little bit. And I bet right-handed, yeah, you feel it a little bit. You feel it a little bit, and you're, yeah, right there. I can really feel it poking me there. Not the end of the world, but would be cool to see a better clip on here. But that's it, man. That's really my only gripe. I absolutely love this knife. You cannot flick it. So I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, man, I'm out. But there's something about the front flipper on this that is so satisfying. It's just really fun. I mean, even left-handed, I bet you I can, yeah, sort of comfortably do that. I know the regular front flip is easy left-handed. And I think I was doing the reach around there. I was doing that lefty, right? Yeah. And they did the jimping right on this one. So this has nice aggressive jimping. And you can see it doesn't wrap around, but it goes up high enough. Where again on this guy, it ends just so early and it's smooth. And a lot of that has to do with the blade finish. On this, they have a machine satin. So on a machine satin, you just get a more aggressive finish. It's just like, if you look at our knife from Best Tech, the Buzz, on the belt satin versions, you get a more aggressive grip on this jimping here. And it grabs your finger a little better. Now, we did ask them to make it aggressive on all of them, so it's not like soft or anything on the black wash like this is, but it's definitely better on the satin, and you notice a huge difference on this knife. So if this comes in other versions, I highly recommend you get the one with the satin, because you're gonna get that extra little grip on it. You don't necessarily need it because of the way he designed the angle and everything, but man, this is just such a sleek little knife. And there you go. Here's the JRP, so I was right about that. Then you have Tarako, Jared Price, and then you have S35N and the model number on this side. Just a small EDC. It's just a fantastic knife. I'm guessing this is a custom that he's done. It is a flat grind. A hollow would have been really cool to see. If you have smaller hands, you can grip it back here pretty easily. That does kind of alleviate that pokey clip for me. When I choke up, I'm right on there. That's a me thing because of the size of my hand. I don't know how everybody's going to feel about that. But, yeah, this is really cool. And I really am hoping this is a custom model. And, you know, I'm going to look into it and see. I don't know if he does customs or anything. Obviously he does, but I mean of this. And I'd be curious to see what the price is on those, if they're available. I don't know the maker too well, so I don't know, you know, if it's unattainable style or if it's something you could get. But you have a nice lanyard pin back here. Action is just really buttery. Concept has that down. They have their own bearing system with little races, so you can't really swap their bearings, but they use good ones, so it's not a big deal. Very cool knife. Titanium frame lock, obviously. Very, very nice. The clip is the only thing that stands out to me a little bit. I just wish that was rounded off or just designed differently. But that's it. Wonderful knife. That's the Tarako from Kansepts. So there you go, guys. That's 3 knives from Kansepts. I really appreciate them sending these my way to check out and do some reviews on and everything. We have the left-handed Fenrir. I believe these are available at certain dealers. I know if you're in the EDC for Lefties Facebook group, you've probably seen this knife already. It's been out for a little while. I never picked one up because I had been talking to Kansepts about sending me one of these for a while, and I was just waiting on that, so I never did end up picking one up in the interim. So I'm glad I finally got to check one out. Very cool knife. I mean, the last 2 they have done, they did the Pelican EDC, and now they did the Fenrir. They're on a run. It's very, very good compared to the ones before that, like the Shard and the Warrior. And I think they did one other one. I can't even remember. So I'm really glad to see this. I would love to see did they do it? A Convict in Lefty. The newest version of the Convict in Lefty would be fantastic. So Tarako, Fenrir, and of course the Beast, the Corvid XL America style. I like how they did these little ribs right here because it almost looks like a billow in the flag, doesn't it? Almost look like that. So shout out to Kansepts. Links down below. Discount code down below. You get the whole spiel. Love you guys. Thank you so much for checking this video out. I really appreciate all of you. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe. Leave a comment. That always helps. A comment always helps. Just tell me what your favorite knife is today. Can change tomorrow, but just leave me a comment with your favorite knife today. All right. Love you guys. Hope you have a great day. And I will catch you later.